So being the source of good advice also requires us to understand today's consumer. So today, what I'm going to do is take you through some of the numbers that come from NAR's Home Buyers and Sellers Profile. They do this study every year. It's a survey that they do every year, and they publish this whole book. And last year, I presented you some of the charts and some of the statistics, but it's important for us to be able to be the trusted advisor to understand who the consumer is, what the consumer is about, and how we best can get the message to them about this. So let's first take a look at buyers. There's a lot of information in this book, more so on buyers than there are on sellers. 41% of buyers are first-time home buyers. Now, interestingly, that has remained about the same. Even in this past year, it's always hovered around the 40-41% mark. So 41% of all buyers are first-time home buyers. The typical first-time home buyer was 30 years old. The typical repeat buyer was 47 years old. The demographics of first-time buyers, 49% are a married couple, 24% are single females. Isn't that interesting? Here's what's even more interesting. 12% are single males. Now, why is it that twice as many single females are buying homes as single males? Tracy?
Young ladies are not waiting to get married to start the rest of their lives.
Ladies aren't waiting to get married. Ladies have careers today. You know, when I was growing up, unbelievable as it is, my goal was to be like my mother. My mother was a homemaker. My mother had 5 children, and I thought, she's a happy lady, that's what I'm going to do. Didn't quite work out that way, because I've had a career since the beginning of time and have worked through having children. But it is interesting that 24% of single female, huge market niche of people that are buying, first-time home buyers. 12% are unmarried couples and 2% are other. Of repeat buyers, 69% are married, 17% single female, 9% single male. Even on the repeat buyers, there's still twice as many single females as there are single males buying homes. 4% unmarried, 2% other. Ages. And I'm going to talk about ages a couple different times, but ages are important. Pay attention to this, because when we get into some other things, you'll understand why. Age of first-time home buyers, 12% are between 18 and 25 years of age. Now that's the generation Y, Roger?
I think Y,
Yeah.
yeah.
54% of first-time home buyers are between 25 and 34 years of age. Now, I know right now that I'm old enough to be most of these people's mother, right? So a lot of us, because you know what the average age of a realtor is?
52.
Well, different numbers. Renee said 54. That was at one time the national
52.
average age of a realtor. The average age of a realtor in Ohio is 52. I remember when it was 48. I remember thinking, oh, I'm getting up to the average age of the realtor. Well, as I crept up, the age kept going up. But my point today is that although we are getting older, guess what's getting younger?
Buyer.
The buyers. The buyers are getting younger, the ones that we're working with. 20% of first-time home buyers are between 35 and 44 years of age. So when you add those together, you've got 86% of the first-time home buyers less than 44 years of age. Younger than most of us, have grown up in a slightly different environment. One of the things is technology that they've grown up with that most of us didn't grow up with. We've had to adapt ourselves to. The age of the repeat buyers, of course, is a little older. 18% are between 25 and 34. 25% are between 35 and 44. 24% are between 45 and 54. 19% are between 55 and 64, and the rest are over 65. And here's what's interesting in this profile. They've never tracked it before, but this is the first issue of this profile done by NAR where they've tracked social networking. Social networking are those websites, and I know I've talked about it in the last several months. That's the MySpace, the Facebook, the LinkedIn. And social networking usage is very interesting to look at. Every day or a few times a week, 62% of the people between 18 and 24 are using social networking. 62%. 33% between 25 and 44 are using social networking every day or a few times a week. Now, why is that important to you? Because if the majority of first-time home buyers, 86%, are less than 44 years of age, 96% of them are using social networking. Huge. What it means to you is you need to be there. You need to be networking in those social networking situations online, because that's where the consumer is. Top 3 first steps taken during the home buying process. What's number 1? What's the first thing that most people do?
Look at pictures of houses.
They go online. Yep. The second thing they do, what do you think the second thing is they do? They contact a real estate agent. They looked, this is the first, I'm sorry, this is the first step. It shouldn't be the second thing. The top 3 are looked online, contacted a real estate agent, looked online for information about the home buying process. So they're not just looking for the real estate, they're also looking, how do I buy a home? So my question to you is, on your website, do you have information about the home buying process? And for that matter, the home selling process, because people are looking online for information. And that's what a lot of us are doing today. When I have somebody come to me and say, hey, what about this? I don't know. Guess where I go? I go to Google and I research it online, because you can research just about anything online, which sure beats going the old days, going to the library, going through the card index, looking in the encyclopedia. Remember encyclopedias? Oh my gosh. So we've come a long way, but people are looking online, not only on real estate or for the photos, but they're also doing research about the home buying and home selling process. The top 3 information sources used in a home search: Internet's number 1, 87% of buyers use it. Real estate agent is number 2. You're the number 2 source. Yard sign is the number 3 source. Yard sign plus the yard sign, right? It started the business, and it's still a major component of the business, even though internet has taken over in the sources. Here's an interesting one: the average length of search for a home. What do you think the average length for a search for a home? I know some of you have experienced some longer periods. Matt? 4 months. Wrong.
3 months.
3 months. Wrong.
6 weeks.
We're getting closer. 10 weeks. 10 weeks is the average. First-time buyers are 12 weeks on average. Repeat buyers are 9 weeks on average.